I'm selling up. Welcome back to another video. In this video we are going to be doing a reptile room tour and I'm going to let you all know what's happening. Another little update. This is Echo, our leopard gecko, the second one I ever owned actually. It's quite special.
Nice.
It's beautiful. So starting off, there was a video that I posted on TikTok of me moving everything around. I did very clickbait that. I've had to rehome a load of my inverts due to space. There is going to be a big reptile room video where we're going to be moving into a new house and I'll have a whole room just for my reptiles. So the invert shelf. As you can see, the invert shelf has now gone. So currently we have the Mario worm breeding farm in there and the African fat-tail female. We also do have one invert that we have kept, which if we can find, he has just had a mist, but we might be able to see him. He's there in that corner. So that is Diddy Biscuit, Sergeant Biscuit, the praying mantis. Then we have got, I don't know if you can see in there, the African fat tail, which is absolutely beautiful. And then we've got the Mario worm beetles. So as you can see, I have had to sell a few of my inverts. Davette has gone, a few of the other tranchulas have gone, all of the millopeedes are gone. Oh hell no! I've had to sell them due to the amount of space. I had hardly no space. I was in little enclosures because I didn't have the space. Some of them have sold, some of them have just moved to a friend's house. The reason I had to sell them is literally due to the space. But now I have all the Leos. Once I've moved out, I would love to get back into inverts. That is my plan. So as you can see behind me, we've still got all of the Leos and the African fat tail up there. I've just had to move everything around to fit everything in until we move. When I move, inverts will definitely be coming back on the channel, 100%, because I love inverts, especially my millopeedes. You all know that. But then, reptile boarding had a load of stick insects.
Of course!
So my community tank, which now is gone, I've used that tank to house some stick insects. So if we open the doors here, you can see I have got, I believe, 5 of these amazing stick insects. Currently they're eating rose petal bush, which is cool. So these are the stick insects. Their enclosure is quite simple. It's literally a coffee jar filled with water. All of the rose petal, no, the rose bushes there. As you can see, we've got all the stick insects in here, which is amazing. That's the stick insects and the inverts which I have got. They're all sorted. I have obviously still got my sun beetles, which they're in the other room at the moment. I've got the African land snail Bob. I've still got him. And my morning geckos, which obviously they was in the community tank. They're now on their own, with all of my wood lice are in their enclosure. So behind me, the reptile wall, the reptile room. This is where all the reptiles are, other than the morning geckos. So this is the reptile wall, the reptile room. This is what's going on. So up here, this up here is Spot's tank. This is Spot's Viv. Unfortunately, 2 of my dimming thermostats have broke on me. I am getting repairs coming, so the reptiles have all had to move around so they can go on the heat mats rather than the bulbs. So if we go into Spot's tank, he's got his cold side here, cork bark, coconut hide, a little plant pot, a water dish, all the way around. So he has got loads. That coconut isn't usually there. He does usually have one of these exoterra hides. All of the leopard geckos and the African fat tails, as you can see, have at least one of these hides in their enclosures. So like I said before, there's no gecko in here because this is one of my vivs that the dimming thermostat has broken. So there's nothing in here currently, but this is Spot's. So then if we're moving up from Spot's, we have my little Lordsexotics number plate here, which is amazing. Moving up, we have Gizmo's. So Gizmo's Viv. Gizmo isn't in here currently. He's getting saunered. But this is Gizmo's Viv. I would love to get Gizmo a front opening glass Viv like the rest of them. But at the moment, this is Gizmo's Viv, which is amazing. It's got his moss hide, one of them hides, all the way across. There's loads. So yeah, this is Gizmo, the male African fat tail. He is a 0 morph. Then, if we're moving up here, this is just a glass enclosure for the morning gecko babies. I am making a lid, so it's got a bit more ventilation in there. There's no morning gecko babies in there at the moment, but we are just getting ready. Then if we move over to this 2-foot stack, up here, we have the Lucky Reptile Incubator. So if we go in here, we've got 2 of these amazing tubs. Let's get one of these down here. There's nothing in here currently. But if we open this up, this is for the leopard gecko eggs, African fat tail eggs. And then we just stick them in there. Then in this little tub here, there's 2 morning gecko eggs. I've put them in the incubator. I've set it at about 27 degrees Celsius. There's some water there just to help with the humidity. This is my amazing Lucky Reptile incubator, which I love it so much. It just looks so beautiful, doesn't it? Then over here we have the leopard gecko archvits for the reptiles, obviously for the leopard geckos, hydro balls for all of the live food, so the hoppers, the crickets, the Mario worms, and then you have the calcium, which is in there. I put them in these tubs just because it's easier than having loads of them little tubs. Then, unfortunately, due to one of my other Viv's dimming thermostats breaking, which is down here, an empty tank at the moment, Patch has had to downgrade into one of these until my 2 new dimming thermostats turn up. So Patch's enclosure is rammed, but Patch is still only a baby. Let's see if we can find her. There she is. There's Patch. So this is Patch's enclosure. Unfortunately, it's just got a heat mat in at the moment. But look at that lovely slate that my girlfriend got for her. So this is Patch's enclosure. Now, if we move down, there's nothing in there. That heat mat don't even work. It's just an empty Viv just in case. And another empty Viv just in case. Them 2 need cleaning out. Then, if we go down to this tank here, this is Patch's. All of the enclosures have got these little name tags on, which have the name, their sex, and their morph. Then if we move up, this is Freya's tank, which once again, we don't know Freya's morph, so Freya has not got the morph on at the moment. We have had to move around. Freya is in another tank at the minute, and Big Man has had to take this tank. So this at the moment is Freya's tank, or Viv. Then, if we move on to this Viv right here. So on the Vivs, they all got these lovely little stickers, which I think are amazing. I got them off eBay. In this Viv, we have got Echo, which Echo is our temper albino leopard gecko. And we have got somewhere in here Spot, which is in her moist tide. Spot is our Max Snow leopard gecko. This tank and enclosure is just amazing. Also, I have ordered loads of more hides, cork bark and everything, so they all can have a massive upgrade. Then if we go down here, we have got Echo's enclosure. Obviously Echo's in the other enclosure up here at the moment, but this is Echo's enclosure. That snail right there isn't a snail in there, it's just the shell. We had a little run for him and he fell in love with that shell, so we cleaned it, disinfected it, put it in his enclosure. But this right here is Echo's enclosure. I have got loads of hides that need disinfecting, and then eventually they'll all be fully bioactive, and yeah, they'll be amazing. Just look over there at Fergus. Then, if we move over to this Viv here, this is my second finished Viv. So in here, I have got Storm. Storm was my first ever leopard gecko and reptile that I owned. We've had reptiles all the time in our family. So Storm is a female normal, which she's under there basking at the moment. Storm's tank is amazing. Like I said, it's the first fully finished one that I've done. I've put a hook right up there, which she'll be having one of them coconut hides hanging off. So yeah, this is Storm's fully bioactive enclosure. I'm just waiting for my woodlice and springtails to add in here, and that will be completed. So now if we go over here, this is Lois. Lois was one of our rescues that we done ages ago. She is retired currently. Let me see if I can find her. There is Lois. As you can see. So Lois is amazing. She is absolutely beautiful, but this is one of the throat needs to be changed and moved around. I was just sorting them all out. This is Lois's enclosure. Let's get her out to show her a bit more up close. Let's put her hide back. So this is Lois. There's Buddha McBuddha. His head's fell off. And Lois's tail, as you can see, has fell off. That was before we got her. Let's shut all of the Vivs so we don't have no escapes. Now, if we move down to here, this is Harrison, or corn snake. He's just a normal type, but he is amazing. So if we move you over to here, you can just about see him in his custom hide. There's loads of live plants in here. His basking spot over there, cork bark, stuff for him to climb over, and he is one of the most active corn snakes I've seen. So it is true, if you give them enough space, you give them the right temperature, then they will live a happy life. Here's the first enclosure I've finished I'm actually happy with. There's woodlice in there, his clean-up crew, and yeah, he is amazing. I have just fed them all, so that's why the Locus farm is in here. This is my Locus breeding box. Currently they aren't breeding, but soon they will be in here. But they are loving it. This is where all the locusts are. And I use a lot of locusts for all of my reptiles. So now, if we move over to this little unit here, up here is all my spare hides. Then we've got the Mario worms, some scales to weigh all of the Leos, my little water sprayer, well, big water sprayer. This is the most amazing kit I've brought. A little dog ornament and some candles. This bottom is going to be my first enclosure I have fully made, which I cannot wait for that. That's why the room is a bit messy. Up here we have got the Mario worm beetles, which they breed and make the Mario worms for us. And then we have got the African fat-tailed female, which is in this enclosure here, in her quarantine enclosure. And then obviously up here we've got the calcium dusting box and the praying mantis. So let's go in the kitchen. So in this tank here I've got 2 fire bellies and 2 yellow bellied toads, which they are amazing. There's a snail there as well. I've got 2 snails called Stripe and Spot, and there's also 2 shrimps in there. It's amazing. Mr. Frogette, which is the one that you've seen first, is in there as well. In here is the morning gecko enclosure. As you can see, there's 2 morning geckos under there basking, which that is beautiful to see. Live moss and woodlice. And in here is my sun beetle tank, which is amazing. So that is the reptile room tour completed. Soon they will all be moving. Everything's moving to my new house, all of the reptiles. I will then be getting more amphibians and invertebrates, mostly millopeedes. I do miss having my millopeedes. I hope you enjoyed. Down below, like usual, there will be 15% off of reptile boarding with code Lordsexotics15. My socials will be down there. Make sure you're liking, you're subscribing, and comment down below what is the next reptile you want to see here at Lordsexotics. Hope you enjoyed.